Good morning, afternoon, or night. It depends on where you see us. Welcome to Keeping Up with the World.
Today, we're accompanied by two very special guests to let us know a little bit more about the COVID-19 and how we are passing through this. Also, they're going to explain us how famous people are being altruistic. What a great act, don't you think? I am not going to give you more details. I don't want to spoil you guys.
Marta, could you tell us who is with us today? You left us with intrigue.
Of course, give a big applause to Camila Gonzalez Reyes, the ambassador of the United States, who will provide us information about the perspectives of different cultures by which the United States is surrounded, in this way also providing characteristics of an altruistic person. In case you have the doubt, welcome Camila!
Our second special guest is Alejandra Medina Orozco, the owner of Billboard magazine, who will give us information about the actions that celebrities have done and with that things have supported people who need it in these difficult times. Welcome, Alejandra.
Thank you for inviting us to Keeping Up with the World. It's an honor to be here.
Yes, and as Camila said, thank you for inviting us, and of course for letting us share this relevant information with people who see us.
Well, anything you would like to comment before we start with the interview?
So, Camila, can you give us a brief introduction to what has happened on COVID-19?
First of all, COVID-19 was presented to the world as at the drop of a hat. We as United States government had to come up with the best thing since sliced bread in order to have control over this virus. We realized that people began to be altruistic since it began to the apathic and the different cultures did not matter. The most important thing for the human condition at this moment is to carry a responsible, moral, and altruistic system so that in this way we can create an independent world society.
Also, the Billboard magazine that is responsible for reporting the actions, triumphs, and news of the artists, celebrities, and singers. We have included in the articles important events that have happened during this contingency, which is a bolt from the blue.
Camila, Ale, this information is very interesting. I didn't know that the fact that different cultures of our country left behind their differences and came together to support each other.
Camila, I want to know what does the government of USA is doing to help the ones that are being more affected?
Well, today is difficult to make the right choice. Most of the things our citizens think that the drastic times calls for drastic measures. As a result, the Federal Emergency Management Agency has been leading the response in states heavily impacted by COVID-19 to help build mobile response centers and assist with public safety. On the other hand, the Congress has undertaken legislative actions to respond to the crisis with 4 large emergency coronavirus stimulus packages. These bills are aimed at funding research, treatment, and backing development, increasing access to certain health care provisions, and leasing the economy suffering for individuals and business because of the coronavirus pandemic. And we wanted to help, to be empathic, and we know that every cloud has a silver lining.
Wow, I didn't know all that. It is very useful information for all the citizens. You already know where you can find support if you need it.
Ale, you who also live in the United States and your magazine is about our country. How have celebrities been involved in actions that support those who need it?
Because of the situation and the economy that is becoming more serious, celebrities offer all the help they can. Some musicians are sharing their talents, providing live streams of performance to keep their fans entertained. Others are donating not only their time, also enormous resources to provide aid to the less fortunate in their communities and around the world. They are helping a lame dog over a stile, which is very, very generous and supportive of them to do this kind of altruistic actions. Celebrities such as Rihanna, Ariana Grande, Shakira, Madonna, Cardi B, Elton John, Miley Cyrus, and more are doing these actions. For example, the Material Girl, that as all of us know is Madonna, teamed up with the Reform Alliance to donate 100,000 masks to jail and prisons in the hope of curbing the spread of the coronavirus behind the bars. Earlier in the month, Reform also donated 100,000 masks to those at the Rikers Island in New York.
It is good to know that famous and high class people are helping the low income, making this time a little bit easier.
And we have realized that this pandemic has not only affected the scope of the population's health, also the scope of work has been affected, and we have noticed that there are people who have helped. Do you have anything to mention about this?
This pandemic is a war. That's how we just like to name it. To understand COVID-19 hits on the economy, consider its effect in different industries. Consumption makes up 70% of America's gross domestic product, but consumption has slumped as business closes and as a household hold of a major purchase as they worry about their finances and their jobs. Investments make up 20% of GDP, but business are putting off investment as they wait for clarity on the full cost of COVID-19. Arts, entertainment, recreation, and restaurants constitute 4.2% of GDP. With restaurants and movie theaters closed, this figure will now be closer to zero until the quarantines are lifted. Manufacturing makes up 11% of US GDP, but much of this will be destruction too, because global supply chains has been obstructed by factory closures and because companies we have been of one's roach. But we're trying to make the best to our citizens. On the other hand, we admire and we're grateful with the community because everybody is being altruistic and the most of the people is managing this with an excellent moral and ethical thinking. The doctors, nurses, the people that delivers food, Ubers and taxis, the people that works in supermarkets, everybody is doing their part awesome.
These are very alarming percentages of how America is a great projector, and all this spoils our plans for 2020 as a country and society. And I also want to openly thank all the people who have done altruistic acts for smaller than have been. And thank you, Camila, for this very important information. It is something that the entire population should know.
Ale, do you think that donating or doing charity in this situation will help to resolve both health and financial conflicts?
Of course, I couldn't agree more because I totally believe that what these celebrities are doing for others without expecting anything in return could help people, communities, and countries. This solidarity action that so many people have granted during these months are regulated in the Royal Decree Law 11/2020 of March 31, Article 47. In this case, it is indicated that the donations made to face the COVID-19 will be exclusively dedicated to face the expenses derived from the sanitary crisis, such as the acquisition of the sanitary equipment and infrastructures, material supplies, and the hiring of personnel, or investment in pandemic research, among others. It is surprising. For example, Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds announced on Instagram that they are donating $1 million to food banks in the midst of this growing coronavirus pandemic. Lively and Reynolds have also donated an additional of $400,000 to 4 New York area hospitals during this ongoing pandemic, as well as many other celebrities and people are doing.
They are too large amounts, and we know they have a cause, that they are not to be spent or nonsense. Thanks to this information, credit is being given to those who made the donations. But the most impressive thing is that they do not seek to attract attention with these actions, but rather they look for the good for the society in which they live, and that the world is gradually becoming more supportive and realizes that there are still good and worthwhile people. Thank you.
Changing the subject, in New York is prohibited from opening stores and selling on certain streets. People who live from it are resorting to rob markets in order to feed their family. However, thanks to donations and charitable acts by people who is financially stable is going to provide them with the opportunity to have something to eat at their table every day. The United States government also provides monthly fees to support them in this crisis. Girls, what do you think about the situation that they are experiencing and what you would recommend to people who are in this situation?
This is a sad and devastating situation for all. And as the Aristotle theory states that the happiness derives from acting in a correct and positive way, so it is what the celebrities and people are doing in this situation. And I think that what these people do is incredible, and if they have the possibility to continue helping and doing these kind of actions, that the only aspect it counts is a common good that help others.
This situation is devastating. Plato's theory is that happiness or well-being is the highest goal of moral thought and behavior, and virtues are those dispositions necessary to achieve all that is good. I believe that this ethical theory will help us to look and move forward. It is something that as a government we have reminded our citizens to keep our heads high and be strong.
Thank you very much. All this information you provide was very shocking, believe me. And we are glad that they are people who still care for others. Ale and Camila, do you want to give another message to the population that is listening to us?
Thank you all for inviting me here. It's a pleasure for Billboard magazine to be in this incredible show and can share all of these relevant actions that the celebrities are doing to contribute their grain of sand to help this situation, which doesn't favor anyone and help those who need it more than us. It's a great job of kindness and selfless concern for the well-being of others. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me to be part of this program. Keep yourself informed, and I take this opportunity to thank all the people who are helping each other, who are being altruistic and empathic. Remember not to leave the house and take care of yourself, because change is in us. Thank you, Ale, Marta, and Grecia. It was great to see you.
It was a great program. They share data that will be very useful for the American population. In the same way, it made us realize that is being lived and how we can interfere to help. Ale and Camila, thank you very much for being with us today.
As my partner Marta said, thank you very much for joining us today, and above all taking a moment of your time, since we know that you are busy and highly required in this world of reporting. It is more than sure that this information will be useful for all of us. Thank you and see you next time.